A few months ago, the largest online retailer for space-themed merchandise opened its first brick-and-mortar location here in Chattanooga. The Space Store is located at 412 Market Street, owned and operated by Firecrown. Tim Dooner is Firecrown's executive creator.
Tim, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Ray.
Why now for a physical location for the Space Store?
The Space Store is an online brand that we've had. The owner of our parent company, Firecrown, Craig Fuller, he's very passionate about flying. He's very passionate about space. We have our studio, Freightwave Studios, over there. I operate out of there. I do a show much like you on Sirius XM and on Freightwave's network. And we used to have a physical team. We used to have a data team down there and everything. And we were thinking of what to do with the space. Craig brings in all these new brands to his portfolio, space being one of them. We said, what better? Craig has kids. I have kids. We're thinking about what to do. What better than to open a physical location as a showcase for all the awesome items that we have in this Space Store and bring something cool to Market Street that's family friendly.
Talk more about the items.
Anything from space plushies to space Legos to space globes. They've got Earth globes. They've got moon style ones. They've got Pluto, even if it's not considered a planet anymore. We still got Pluto. I was actually just out at NASA Kennedy Space Center. We were doing, the Space Store had sponsored a space themed event that we were doing up in the Freightwave studio. And NASA has this really cool thing called the Crawler. Used to bring the space shuttle and everything. It's going to bring the Artemis 2 rocket to the launch pad. This is the largest land vehicle on Earth, celebrating its 60th birthday. So I went down there to do a segment with it, and I got to wear one of the space suits from the Space Store on the base. I felt, stolen valor at Kennedy Space Center where we went to lunch and I still have the space suit on, but they've got great items on there. You know, the jackets, like the blue and orange jackets you see the astronauts have on the podium. You can go total dad swag with all those jackets, those bomber jackets up there too. There's even little astronaut onesies for kids. You're always looking for fun gifts to get your kids. Stop in, get them out, an infant onesie.
What response so far have you and your colleagues and the store seen from space and astronomy enthusiasts?
It's been fantastic. So a lot of my interaction with the store is I'm doing my show, so I bring guests down and they get to check it out. A lot of them are from out of state. They have kids. They say, wow, this is great. This seems like something that you would find attached to a Kennedy Space Center or the Space Center we have over in Huntsville, Alabama. And it's really cool because we do have that in the Southeast. We have plenty of space culture nurtured through Huntsville, through Kennedy Space Center. And I don't think there's a cooler time to be involved in space. And me personally, Chattanooga is an adopted city for me. I moved here from Boston in 2019. And one of the things that sold me at the time my boys were 2 and 4 was this was such a great family friendly city. We got the aquarium right over there. You got the Children's Museum. You got the zoo. We used to have those festivals. We had Riverbend and Moon River. We took a hit. We took a hit downtown after COVID. We lost our festivals. We lost some stores. We needed to get families back downtown. And I think stores like this are part of the way to get people back shopping on Market Street.
What's one of your favorites at the store?
So I'm a big Lego dork, and we caught the bug during COVID I mentioned my boys, and we had to cancel a trip to Disney. And Disney trips are expensive, and we're going to be locked in, so I got them the Lego Death Star. Now, granted, it's like $450, $500. Not easy to convince the wife, but that really got them into the whole space thing, got them into Lego building. And I love the Legos we have there, but we also have these really fine models that are of the original Artemis rocket or the space shuttle that can range from 200 to 1,000. So I got high taste. So those ones are what I have my eyeball on.
What plans are in the works at the Space Store for later in 2025?
We had a 7-year-old who loves space. He stopped by and he was like, I would love to have a birthday party here. We hadn't really even considered doing events like birthday parties yet. And I think that's definitely going to come into the equation. And now, granted, we have this large portfolio of brands through Firecrown as well. And, Craig Fuller, the owner of the store, he comes from the flying and supply chain and space side and also the model railroad side. And one of the cool things that we did earlier in the year is we bought the world's largest model railroad from Entertainment Junction in Cincinnati. We're bringing that down to Chattanooga. We're opening a motion museum. That's going to include space. It's going to include trains. It's going to include trucks, and it's going to include everything. It's going to be an awesome family-friendly facility. So the idea, obviously, is to bring some of these brands to life. And space is definitely our first foray into doing that and using that physical location we have there. But you're going to see in the following year, it's going to be even much more expansive. I don't know how much I can say on the Motion Museum, but I know I'm very excited about it because I've been covering some of the logistics of moving that. It took 16 trucks to bring that train set down to Chattanooga.
And for people who want to learn more about the Space Store, turn out in person, where can they go online?
Yeah, well, 412 Market Street in person. Obviously, if you're here in the scenic city, you definitely want to show up in person. But if you want to check it out found online, it's the spacestore.com. Simple enough. Just go on the internet, spacestore.com. You can see all the wares, but even better, go down to the store, check it out like it's a showroom. There's plenty to check out within there, even for, it's not the largest space on Earth, no pun intended, but we've crammed a lot of cool stuff in there, even some VR experiences.
All right, Tim, thanks so much.
Thank you so much for your time.